That okay. We're live. It's the first time we've done a YouTube live. Done these on Instagram a few times. I don't know if this is really going to what it's going to do. It's the first time I'm doing it. So anyway, I wanted to give a little bit of information about or some of my thoughts reflecting a little bit on the new Mac Track Makita boxes. These boxes just came a few days ago, and I've been looking at them and trying to think, okay, what am I going to put in them? How am I going to use them? How is the whole thing going to work out with this new system? And so I decided, I'll probably share a couple thoughts on here, see what's going on. Am I even live? I have no idea. Welcome. Okay, maybe we'll do a Q&A. Ask question. Yeah, ask question. Ask anything. Done. Start Q&A. I have no idea. I have no idea how this works. I have no idea why it's in my face. Doesn't make any sense. I feel like a boomer. I have no idea what's going on. No, I want to move it out of my face. Why? I have no idea how this thing is working. Okay, anyway. We're going to talk a little bit about the Mac Track and just a couple thoughts that I have regarding the Mac Track. This is the new Milwaukee. This is the new Makita toolbox system that they have. They rely on these tracks right here for everything to slip inside and then lock in place. This is a little locking tab at either side. You can load it from one side or the other, which is really cool. We all know on the Packout, it only loads from the front. Um, and I've been invested heavily in the Packout for the last 7 years. I got the first bit for my 30th birthday, and we're almost right on my 37th birthday here. So uh, I have the Packout brain. I've invested in Packout for a really long time. So what are we gonna do with this thing? So uh, the one thing I do like is that this lid hinges from both sides. All of their bigger boxes do that. Some of their smaller organizer boxes don't do that. Um, that's probably because it's space saving with these big handles on either side. I do have this box loaded up. Um, the one thing I do like about this is that you can take the lid completely off, and then you have a nice big bin to store stuff in. Cool thing about this lid is that you do have holes for screws. And if you want to screw this down to a dolly, and then you can take your bigger crate, set it on top, and then click it in place just like that. So it locks onto the bottom. You can screw that to anything. You can screw it onto the wall. You can do whatever the heck you want with it. So if I can just get it out there. They are a little bit tight. That's the one thing. They are a little bit snug. I'm sure that'll loosen up over time. But there we are. The Mac Track boxes. They are water and dust proof. They have that nice gasket that goes all the way around. Looks really good. They have little secret compartments in some of them for tracking devices. So if you have like air tags or something like that, you can put those in there, and the thieves will not be the wiser. I really like their hinge system on these. It's very strong. This metal bar goes all the way through here, and then it locks onto this little locking mechanism right there, and that is the hinge. That's a really good idea. It's great. Those screw hole areas are you can also put a padlock through there if you want. Um, what I will say though is that you need if you have just this box by itself, you're going to need more than one lock to lock to lock it because if they have a lock back here, you can still kind of get this open and pry it open. So that is a concern to a certain degree. And everybody knows you can get bolt cutters and cut it, and that's whatever. But I really do like that part about it. They have a whole bunch of different options. The thing is that no matter what they do, they are going to have an uphill battle. They're going against a whole bunch of other companies that already have fully fleshed out uh, box lines. These guys don't have a lot of stuff. They're kind of limited with the amount of boxes that they first released. But this is the thing, being as forward thinking and careful planning that the Japanese usually are, I can't see that they are just coming up with this and then they're going, okay, now we have to figure something else out. I think they are going to figure quite a bit outcome for the future. So if you are a person who are in the pack out game already, like me, I don't know how many boxes I have. A bunch. I have a bunch of pack out boxes, probably 50 or more. Um, if you're already in that game, I would keep an eye on it. There are some boxes that I really do like the big rolling chest where you can the handle, you can lift it up and then I think we've all seen those videos where you set the handle on the back of the pickup and then you lift up the back of the box and you slide it in. That is really nice because I had my big Milwaukee chest on the job site the other day, well, a couple weeks ago, and to load it back into the truck, you just pick it up, put it in the truck. Who cares? But it would have been a lot easier with that Makita system. If you have any questions, you can put them right here. Um, Talking about the Makita Mac track, they call it. That's the one thing that is cool too, is that if I'm going to make shop made accessories for this thing, it's a lot easier because I just have to cut basically a dovetail channel and then slide. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be dovetail. You could probably just take like 1/8 inch. You could do that. You could probably just get like 1/8 inch aluminum and screw it onto the bottom. You know, this much off the. I think you know what I mean. Uh, and then you can put whatever the heck you want on top or underneath or whatever on for the Mac track. So that's really easy compared to the Packout, which has those 12 different squares um, that they connect stuff to. That's not bad. Milwaukee's isn't bad, but this is better, especially from a shop made perspective. One thing I really do like is that boxes like these I can make in an accessory, say like if I wanted to put a miter saw stand on here, or use this as like a place to lock my miter saw stand, I can make basically a piece that goes on the bottom of the miter saw, set on top, click it in place, it moves better. These are all designed with pickups in mind. Everybody's working out of their pickups, and they want to be able to service those guys, the guys that are going into jobs, out of jobs, keeping a lot of their tools in the trucks. That's why a lot of them are made. You've noticed they're all kind of down and like they spread out the width of the layout, and then they also made everything a little bit shorter. So I do like the sizes. The sizes are a lot better for power tools. They thought that through. Some of the Milwaukee stuff, you're like, I like this box, but I can't fit this thing into it. And in order to fit, say, like a track saw into a pack out box, it has to be an enormous pack out box. It has to be one of those tall ones. And you're just looking at it going, man, I like these pack outs, but they're big. They're big for what you can store inside of them. I find that just the size of the Mac track are better because there's even though there is kind of bump outs for um what do you call it, for like if something bumps against it, it needs to be reinforced because of the plastic. It's not taking up a ton of room. You're losing not a lot compared to the pack out. It's actually very little room that you're losing. So that's important because I don't want to be carrying around these big bulky things. And there are some people that are only on sustainers simply because of that reason. It's just way too bulky. So I do really like the inside space compared to the outside footprint of the Mac track. That, in my opinion, is a lot better. Um, you have to really keep an eye on this. As soon as they release drawers, I'm going to go heavy into the Mac track. Um, as soon as they release drawers, until they release drawers, sorry. But can you imagine? Now, can you imagine a box like this? Okay, and where's my tape measure? Where's my tape measure? Here, let me grab you and take you along. Let's go find a tape measure together in my very messy shop. Oh, there's one. This is the shop, by the way. It's a 40 by 60 um, Altendorf sliding table saw, Chop Saber CNC, Cantech Edge Bander. That Cantech Edge Bander, don't sleep on those. Those things are awesome. Um, Big Torit Cyclone 24 dust collector, 36-inch wide time saver belt sander. As you can see, everything is all over the place. I put that shelving in just recently, and then I got to restore all this. I really need a what do you call it? Oh, what are those things called? Sea cans, Connex container. Um, but if you can imagine a MacTrack box with two drawers, one bottom, one at the top, this size. That is, I'm pretty sure it's 21 inch. Yeah, you could probably get a 21-inch drawer in one of these. That's pretty cool, I will say. And then say if you have, um, oh man, that'd be killer. So if they had, one of these is two deep drawers. What if they also had one that were just single drawers that you could just set down and clip on, like they're deep organizers? Guess we have those over here too. I'm so unprepared for this live because this is the first time I've ever done a YouTube live here. Okay, this is the Mac track. Let's grab all these boxes here. Where's the handle for you? Right here. Hey, found it. Um, Go over this a little bit. Like I said, if you want to, oh, where we are, I start thinking of using the packouts. Currently, don't really use anything, just some bags. Ooh, you know, I know the Mac track does look bulky, but I guess I could grab another box, a Milwaukee box. But say if you had a drawer, say if this size came in single drawers, and then you had these ones that had double drawers that pulled out that way. I would like that. I would like that especially because that way, say if I only kept coping tools in here, I'd have my jigsaw with a coping foot. I have a grinder in here. I'd have a power planer for scribing. I could keep all that in here, right? Scribe tools on the front, and it's long, it's deep, it's also a little snug. Sure that'll wear in, but you'd have all your stuff right in here. Now with the Milwaukee stuff, let's go take a look at that. I have no idea why I'm not just doing like a meta glasses live. That would make more sense. I don't know if you can you do that? Maybe you can. Right now, this is my install kit. I like how this is laid out. Small tools up top, smaller precision tools in there, jigsaw, fine tool, quick clamps, drills and stuff in there. But the thing is that if I found that the deep drawers were too deep for most stuff, and so I would put like a couple drills in there, especially the Makita drills with that clip on the side right here. Ouch, I stabbed myself with my counter sink. This clip right here sitting on the side, those shallow drawers, it's just a little bit too tall and it rubs. Um, Actually, that's actually a pretty comparable size. So let's take a look. This is one of the original Packout boxes that I got from my wife. I like her. Got from my 30th birthday. All right. Um, put my cold smoke over there. So let's take a look at this. All right. Come off. They are a little snug, those Mac tracks. Okay, so this is the comparable box. All right. This one obviously can load from the side. This one loads from the front, but they're pretty comparable in size. All right. This is the amount of space on the interior of this thing. What do we have here? 19 and 3/4 by 13 and a quarter. Of course, we also have these bump ins right here, so you can grab with the handles on the lid. That's 19, just a little under. And then for depth, we have 4.5, maybe. Also remember that the lid is pretty thick on these. They have to be for all these cutouts. All right. So it's 19 and a quarter, what I say? 19 and 3/4. 19 and 3/4 by 13 and a quarter. That's tight. Okay. That's the other thing. You need two things just to get this open. That's the one thing I do like about the Mac track is it's only one. Now, you could just not fasten one down. Let's take a look at the Mac track. Let's look at our depth first. Our depth, roughly 4.5, 19 and a half by 13. It's very comparable in size. Okay. Um, let's put these back in here. So it's pretty comparable in size between the two on the interior space. But when I'm looking at the difference between these two size wise, I think the Mac track is a little bit better, a little bit smaller. Yeah. It's actually pretty comparable. Well, there goes that idea out the window. Oh, it's a little bit shallower, just a tad. So they're honestly pretty darn comparable. I've had this for 7 years. This is 7 years old. I busted this bottom piece here. It's not a normal use item anymore. I did find I kept my drills and my drills and my jigsaw in this one, and a couple batteries. But one thing that I found really annoying is that I have to lift up every single other thing that I stacked on top of this in order to get at it. So that's why when they released the drawers, I was very, very happy. So I don't know. I mean, between the Mac track and that, the only difference is um, this one is made in Israel. This one's made in the USA. So you want to keep that in mind. And global materials, I'm sure it's difficult to source that kind of plastic. What kind of plastic is this? Let's take a look at that. Does it tell me what kind of plastic this is? Come on. Where are you? Come on, sweetie. I don't see it anywhere. Under the handle? No. Here? I don't see it. Let's see what kind of plastic it is. It doesn't say. Oh well, no big deal. I don't know. I'd say they're pretty comparable. And uh I would say actually that's another good comparison. Let me grab the other one like this. Uno momento. All right. We got the tall box, the tall deep box. Okay. This is a pretty decent size comparison between the two. What do we have on the inside? 19 inches, 19 and an eighth by, at the smallest point, it's 12 and a quarter. At the widest point, it's 13. Oh, depth. That's probably going to be the big difference between the two. The depth is 14 and quarter, give or take. And this one has a whole bunch of stuff in it. Filled it up. Our width is 19 and a half and 13 and a quarter. So it's a little bit wider and a little bit longer. It is shorter, 12 and 3/4. So it's a little bit shorter, but I would almost argue. I think I have more stuff in here than I would put in there, I think. Because I did put this stuff. I had my Neelet in here, some quick clamps, and my Viking arm lifters in there. I just have that type of stuff in a box. I don't ever use it in the shop, and so I don't really need it to be accessible. So I just have it in a box for when I need to store it in the tray. Oh, they're pretty darn comparable in size, really. Let's see, outside dimensions. Okay, they're pretty close. Yeah, pretty close width wise. Yeah, not bad. Oh, but the Milwaukee is heavier. I guess I do have a scale. How far do I go down this road? Not that far. Um, yeah, I don't know. This is okay. This is my main opinion. Look at the difference between the connection system. Look at this one. One, two, three, a big area. Sorry, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, five. So you have 10 spots, 12 if you want to have it so that each of your smaller boxes, like the half size boxes, can fit on there. This is a lot easier. It's just two tracks essentially, and you can make that pretty darn easy on in the shop. This one's the Milwaukee's a little bit harder. The connection system on top. Um, so there's that. Uh, this connection system is pretty snug. Like there's not a lot of wiggle room on there, which means that to pull them apart, you do have to kind of give it a spank. But don't you though? Yeah. So you do have to give them kind of a whack because they do the friction. The friction does grab on all these, which keeps it nice and tight. So there is that, and that'll probably loosen up over time. So there is that. One thing I do really like is that all these boxes tend to be the same size all the way down. Whereas if you're looking at the Milwaukee Packout, you have the little organizer, which is narrower, and the like say it's right here. See how this one's a lot wider than these up here? I think they're also deeper. Yeah. So there's that. Whereas the Mac track, they're all the same width. They're all the same size, which means you're getting a larger organizer than the Milwaukee right there. So there's that. I do really like this though. I like how they have these smaller organizers that aren't the full depth of all of these. So you can get several of those. I can't wait till they come out with thin ones like this. So a thin organizer like this one here is thinner than that one. These ones, which are thin, are gonna be very nice. But you can push this in from this side. You got another one on that side. That's pretty cool. The reason why that's nice here. Let me get this thing out of the way, maybe. The reason why that is nice is because I have a lot of different fasteners, but I don't really need a lot of them. And I don't always need them on the job site at the same time. So it's like, hey, I'm doing handles. I just need handle screws. I don't need to pack an entire organizer's worth of handle screws. And I don't want to carry those handle screws everywhere with me in the same organizer as everything else I use all the time. So if I had an organizer that was just handle screws, metric, imperial, break off versions, 1 inch length, 25 mil length, 50 mil length, 2 inch length. That way, I just put all the screws into one organizer. I put it on the shelf. That's the other thing too, is that those little mini ones are shallow. They are, what would they be? They roughly be 10 inches deep, which means that you can put it in an upper cabinet. So if you have a whole bunch of shop made upper cabinets, you say, hey, this is my screw screw cabinet, and sorry, I just had a political joke in my head. I just put all of these organizers in my screw cabinet, and I can pull them out of there as I need. Uh, that I really do like. I because to the time that you waste and you lose is all the little bits and pieces. Like, oh, I am going to be nailing crown. I guess I got to grab a hose and my nail guns and my compressor. And yes, I do that because a lot of the cordless nail guns out there are trash. And one unsunk 23 gauge nail can ruin your day like that. So ask me how I know. Yeah, I the more I think about it, and the more honestly I talk about it, the more I like the Mac track personally. It just seems to make a lot more sense. The only problem is they don't have as many options as everybody else now. Give me drawers, Makita. Give me drawers. Or give me death. So, and this was the example I was talking about. This smaller, shallower box doesn't have the removable lid like the one below it. Like say this one right here. Oops, what am I doing? See, that one removed is removable. And you have your crate beneath. And you don't have to buy another $40 crate box like the Makita, which I will also say the Makita the Milwaukee crate. I opened this cold smoke and I haven't taken a sip of it yet because I've just been talking this whole time. Not sponsored. But this crate is a smaller size than these other ones down here. You see the width is smaller. It's even smaller than this thin organizer. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna say that I almost think that the Makita's gonna edge out some other company. They're gonna give them a run for their money. That's what I think. And once you see more of the stuff they're coming out with, I think that'll be a big deal. And the modularity with being able to make your own stuff is great. So let's see here. Do we have any questions? I don't even know how you look at questions. Sorry. Do you know, does the George Foreman grill fit into the Mac track? Well, it might be your lucky day. Hold on a minute. Let's see here. I'll keep talking so you don't feel like I'm leaving you alone. But let me take a look. I think I have a George Foreman grill back here. Oh, the mean lean back grilling machine. Cabinet maker dust complimentary. Let's see if it'll fit. Does the George Foreman grill fit in the Mac track? Oh, not it. Not in that one. Will it fit in the other one with all my other tools in it? Let's find out. You didn't think you'd get this bonus content, did you? Get in there. Oh, oh no. Oh, oh. Let's take a look. Mm, come on now. Come on, girly. Oh, it's a little. There we go. Yes, it does. The George Foreman grill does fit inside the Mac track. Any other questions? Oh, I'm sold. Julio. That's right. Oh man, I'm assuming the price is comparable to Milwaukee. You know what? I think I saw a sale the other day at my local tool and cabinet hardware supply store where the George Foreman grill, the what do you call it? What am I trying to say? The Mac Track actually was cheaper. That's because they're doing a premiere promotion or something like that. Can't believe I have this in my shop. Oh, look, it has a bun warmer too. And only a little bit of dust in there. I can't believe that. Ugh. I watch. Just gonna sit on top of that old Makita planer for like a year because I won't take it out. Yeah. Fair. Um, I don't know if they're comparable. I think they're. I honestly, I think most of the time the Makita is going to be a little bit more expensive. That's what I say. Honestly, if I were a guy who's just running with like say tool bags like you, Justin, I would say. Sorry, I had to look at your name there. Um, I would say that I would get the larger, um, the the chest, the rolling thing at the bottom with that handle that helps you load into trucks. I would get that because even if I didn't have any of the Mac Track, and even if I had all pack out, I would still probably buy that large rolling chest. And honestly, so let's see here. I started thinking. Okay, we already went over that. Yeah, the Milwaukees are pretty big. And that's what a lot of people, especially guys who use sustainers, that's one thing they do say is that the Milwaukees are really big. Um, they are bulky compared to a sustainer, but when you are in areas where it can get minus 20 degrees, minus 40 degrees, that um, sustainer plastic basically turns into a saltine cracker. It breaks super easy. So that's that's my opinion. I don't know. I like the Mac track. It's growing on me more and more. The only thing is I just have to figure out how much I'm actually going to put in there and how much I'm going to rely on it because of how much pack out I do have. But I think it's promising. It's my opinion. And yeah, there are drawbacks. That's one also, that's how you know people are not bought by certain companies when they actually tell you that there are drawbacks to certain stuff. You got to have that balanced opinion. If all you're getting is positive feedback, then I don't know, you're not really there. Seems like I'm sold too. I'm in the South. I don't have to worry about minus temps. Yeah, it's true. So there you go. Unless there's any other questions, I might just sign off here. Been on here for 32 minutes already. Holy cow. Uh, yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's the first time I've ever done one of these, so thank you very much. Um, have a happy new year and catch you on the flip side, I think.